What's going on? We back again with more gems. So make sure you stick around to the end because there's a whole lot of game I'm about to drop in this video, all right? And even though this is directed toward, the younger adults, this is something we can all benefit from, because as long as you walk on this earth, I don't care who you are always learning something. It never stops. And think of this, I'm 30. I was born in 93. So if you're around my age range or even, older, you remember how it was when you went from high school to becoming an adult. It wasn't like a smooth transition and it came with a manual and some instructions. Nah, you graduated and you was dropped off to adulthood that quick, and you had to figure out how to navigate through this thing called life. And every human you come across, every adult, we are the results of our childhood. All the trauma you've been through, all the problems, your good habits you got, your bad habits, all of that forms you into the person you are today. Now this the kicker, all right? When it comes to this thing called life, right? Life don't care about none of that. Life don't care about your traumas. It don't care about your childhood. It don't care if your mama wasn't around or your daddy wasn't around. Life don't care. Life don't care about your excuses. None of that mean nothing. You got people that will have sympathy for you, but life as a whole don't care about nothing, and life is not fair. Now that we got that on the table, let's figure out how to get through it. You can't keep making, excuses for yourself. You got to dive deep and figure out who you are, because that's your foundation. If you go through life not even knowing who you are, you will be lost forever, I promise you. And the crazy thing is, most adults don't have the courage to really face themselves and realize who they truly are. It's easier to just run away. It's easier to drink your problems away so you ain't got to think about it, or just get high so you ain't got to think about it. A lot of humans do that, but in reality, you got to learn who you are, because that's your foundation. The important thing about that is when you know who you are, it's harder for people to get over on you, and it's harder for you to be persuaded or taken advantage of, because, man, this is who I am. I ain't going for that. This is what my morals are. This is what I stand on. And that makes you, a lot more solid of a person with just dealing with life. It's a lot that you're not going to put up with, because I know who I am. That's into the next topic, emotions. When it comes to emotions, us as humans usually show one of them. What's that? Happy. We always want to look happy. Oh, what's up, bro? How you feel? Oh, I'm good. Even when we ain't good. It's all right, man. I'm getting through it, man. It's one of them days, but I'm going to get through this, It's all right to not be okay sometimes. It's okay, because we all going through it. We all human. And we don't want to just react off emotion also. You want to process what you're going through. It's penitentiaries full of people that reacted off emotion and then process what they were going through at the time. It's just, I'm feeling this, react to it. Think about it later. That's wrong. You don't want to be that person. Take time, even if you got to take a breather, woosah to yourself and process. All right, what am I going through? I'm upset. Why am I upset? All right, I'm upset because I don't like what so-and-so just said to me. What can I do about it? This going to benefit me, more importantly. What can I do about this situation where I can benefit from it? All right, I can talk to this person about it. Or if they not somebody you can talk to, this person ain't approachable. I can't even talk to this person. All right, so why waste my emotion trying to control somebody else's emotions? Why waste time on that? When you take time to analyze this stuff, it brings more logic. It's a lot more logical than just reacting off your emotions and understanding why you feel this way. This even goes into, like we said, the trauma or your upbringing. You may have grown up in a hostile environment to where you react. Understand that once you learn that about yourself, you react a lot different. When you know I'm a hothead and I got the potential to lead myself into a bad situation that I don't want to be in, you remember that in your subconscious, and it'll stop you a lot of times from getting in certain situations. Certain people rub you the wrong way, man. Let me go and stay away from them, man, because they going to lead me down a road I ain't even trying to go down. Unless you want to go down that road to be my guest. But like we said, you want to do something beneficial. If it ain't beneficial, it's artificial, like Mozzie said. You bottle everything in. We hold all those emotions inside and we won't vent because we feel like this is what's beneficial for us. No, let's be real. You got all this stuff going on in your head, you'll start coming up with your own conclusions, and it's only one opinion in here. You don't have a second, viewpoint going on in here. That's where venting comes in. You may dig yourself into a hole and make a situation way worse, all in here. And that friend or that family member that you got in your corner, because we all need somebody in our corner. I don't care what you're talking about. We're not meant to be alone in this world. You need somebody in your corner. But that person in your corner they may give you a different perspective that you wouldn't have thought of in here with that one way of thinking. You need that. And I know, especially with us as men, or even just humans in general, we don't want to be vulnerable. And let me tell you about vulnerability, all right? If I consider you my friend or, a family member, and I got a lot going on, I feel like I'm at rock bottom and I need somebody to talk to because I'm going crazy, and I confide in you, and you backstab me, or you put my business out, or, you try to guilt me, that don't make me weak. That makes you weak. And that's what we need to learn to understand about vulnerability. We don't want to seem weak because we told somebody, how we truly feel. Because at the end of the day, whether you admit it or not, how you feel is how you feel. People treat you the way you allow people to treat you. Plain and simple. Like, you, don't get me wrong, you got some people that's just flat out ignorant, but as a whole with people gonna treat you however you allow them to. You gotta set that foundation. Think of like Mike Tyson. You think the average person about to roll up on Mike Tyson acting a fool, talking crazy? He set the stone back in the 80s. I'm Mike Tyson, I ain't going for that. Or think of like the comedian Monique, a strong, empowered black woman. You not about to talk to her like a stripper or some prostitute on a street corner. She ain't going for that. She respects herself and she demands respect. I'll give you one of my examples. 2020, when I moved to Pittsburgh, I worked at by far the most racist job I've ever worked at. So anyways, I noticed the other young dude, they would make little jokes and little slick comments, shoot rubber bands at him, throw paper balls. He eventually, after me and him got cool, wasn't going for that no more. But at the time, he just kind of joked around with him and stuff. And I noticed they take it further and further and further because that's what people do. So I'm washing my hands one day, about to go to lunch. One of them come up from behind me like, "Hey man, hurry up." I just turned around and looked at him like this. "Hey bro, let me tell you something. Yeah, that's cool. Y'all do y'all thing. Y'all joke around and all that. Bro, I ain't from around here. I don't play like that. I don't do them type of games, bro. I ain't get real ignorant or disrespectful. I just set the stone, bro. I don't play them games, bro. I don't do that." And his whole face changed. "Hey, I was just joking. I didn't mean to offend you or anything. I'm sorry." He was so shook, he came back after lunch and apologized again. Now, say if I didn't set that foundation and bro don't play with me like that, he would have took it a little further the next time. And the little is also something important, right? You have to be a good listener, and you got to be willing to be wrong because that's how you learn. Like we said, this is the mind you got. This is just one of them. There's billions of other ones. You might think this is the way to do things, but be willing to be wrong. Be willing to learn because somebody can give you a different idea. You have to be a good listener to be a good leader. It all starts with listening. And especially when you are younger, it helps to have older people around you. Because think of this. When I was 18, I'm hanging with other people that's 18, 19. It's a limit on what I can learn because you'd have been here as long as me. And this is when I start hanging with my OG. I call him my pops, Kato, back home. Kato at the time was probably like, I want to say he had to be in like mid-50s, close to 60 at the time. And I start hanging around him and all his friends. And when I say they gave me life-changing game as a young man, because I don't have, that father figure that's going to guide me through life. And he came at the perfect time when I was becoming a man. He gave me this advice right here. He said, "Son, don't be going to jail and don't have no kids right now. You going to be all right. You don't want to spend your 40s fixing everything you messed up in your 20s. When I tell you that's the best game I done probably got in my life, man, you going around here making all these babies with all these women, you in and out of jail messing your record up, that right there will make your life a lot harder than it already is." Moving to our next point, life ain't about what you see or what you hear, it's about what you feel. That gut feeling and that intuition, it ain't gonna lie to you. Always listen to your gut feeling. Reason being, when you go off the eyes, all right, looks can be deceiving. Or what you hear, people can lie. But energy, you can't fake energy. You thinking like, oh, such and such, man, they can light up a room. Because you felt their aura when they came in. You felt their energy. Or when I would go to my grandparents' house and I'm having a rough day or something happen and I throw a smile on and my grandmother would say, "Hey, Jevy, what's wrong?" "Oh, nothing, I'm fine." "Oh, come here, have a seat." You could talk to your mama because she felt the energy. She may not even realize that's what it was, but that's what that was, energy. It wasn't my face because I'm smiling or what I said because I'm cool, mama. Nah, it's the energy. Your energy off. She felt that. Always trust energy. And leading from that, the people around you have an effect on your energy. It can lead you in the right way or the wrong way. It can affect your mood. It can affect your thinking. Like at one point, I was young and everybody around me is in the streets because this is the type of environment we live in. So it ain't like I'm thinking like a billionaire or a Harvard scholar or something like that. No, I'm thinking like somebody in the streets would think, because this is what I surround myself with. And now that I'm older, I don't want to be around that type of environment because it's artificial. It ain't beneficial. I want to be around people that's successful. This is what I want to be, my energy to be like, and this is the energy I need around me. It's about who you hang around. Manifestation. This is probably the best of the best that I could share with you. And I wish I'd known this a lot earlier, but I guess it wasn't meant to know because I wouldn't be where I am today. Anyways, I learned to become limitless. And it works this way. What you think and what you speak becomes your reality. I know it sounds crazy, but it sounds crazy to me when I first heard that. But once I tried it, I'm like, man, this actually works. Hey, this is crazy. I was, I want to say up until I was like 26, I was working my regular old job. And I figured I ain't go to college, so this is just going to be my life. Working this crappy job, and this pretty much all I got to life. Oh, well, I'll never have, a Lamborghini or nothing like that, or a big house. No, once I learned how manifestation worked, I'm like, dang, everything that happened in my life was stuff that I was already thinking and speaking. And this is where I am. So I switched it up. I start thinking of the best scenario instead of the worst scenario. I start speaking out the best scenarios instead of the worst scenarios. And this sounds crazy to other people. Man, I'm having wealth. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have a big house. Psst, how you gonna do that? Because this person has a limit. They not gonna understand somebody that's limitless. Man, I'm gonna do ABC, and you not only are you saying it, you believe in it. If you speak something, but in the back of your mind, like, that ain't gonna work, you done basically hit the undo button on you manifesting something. Strictly believe that, and I promise you, 100%, once you make that a habit of, I can do this, I can do that, you thinking that and you speaking that, those opportunities open up. I'm not making $15 an hour no more. I'm not living check to check. I didn't have a savings account. I didn't have none of that because that's what I said on myself. The moment I start saying, man, I'm about to have a job making this, I'm about to get another stream of income, I'm going to have this, and that, everything started to fall in place. I promise you, one by one. I'll drop another video on how to manifest what you want. But become limitless. Don't set limits on yourself at all.